What if I told you that you can use music as a supplement? In this video we'll explore how to do it and what you can do with it, so let's dive in. Music can have many profound effects, but the type of music as well as your current state plays a big role. But before we dive into the science, here's a quick and simplified explanation of music theory and its vocabulary, so we have a base of what we're talking about. Music is in a sense a combination of melody, harmony, rhythm and silence.
Melody is the main tune that you might hum. Imagine one person playing one instrument. Rhythm is the pattern, the heartbeat of the music. It's often counted in BPM or beats per minute, which indicates its speed. Harmony is a combination of tones played at the same time. Imagine a few people playing instruments together. It is often created through use of chords, which is a combination of tones played together.
Chords can be major, which sounds like this, or minor.
Then there are keys. Keys represent the notes and the chords that you can play. These notes are often from a specific scale, like C major.
Keys can also be major or minor. A chord progression in a major key sounds like this.
Major keys are considered to be happy, and faster the BPM, the happier it is. And the same chord progression in the minor key sounds like this. Minor keys are considered to be more sad. Sad music often has complex harmonies on top of that.
Alright, we got the vocabulary that we need, so let's get back to the science and explore the benefits.
When we listen to music, huge parts of our brains light up, and at the same time, lots of chemical reactions are set in motion that then lead to all the benefits we will have a look at.
For example, did you know that listening to or performing music increases your immunity?
Turns out you synthesize more of immunoglobulin, an antibody that is your first line of defense against most common viruses and bacteria. Serotonin is released as well, which also helps with immunity.
And now that you have better immunity, you can be more social.
Music helps with that too. It helps you to relax and release oxytocin, which helps build trust between people, or motivates you to seek out new social interactions. In fact, you don't even have to talk to anyone or make music with people. Just the act of listening to music can help you feel less lonely. Music releases dopamine, which will increase your motivation in the anticipation of the rewards. Turns out that music is banned in professional sports like cycling. This is because, for example, fast-paced music motivates you to work out harder and longer. So you become harder, better, faster, stronger. You will not pay that much attention when you're tired. So actually, your muscles will be less tight as well. So go for longer. It's like an ultra supplement. It also helps to reduce the amount of oxygen that your body needs to perform exercise and help you more efficiently, which is just incredible. This especially applies for low to medium intensity exercise like cycling or running. And at the same time, when you listen to music, for example before surgery, your ability to cope with pain goes way up, and it can also help you to recover faster.
Then many studies indicate that listening to music can increase your cognitive ability and help you be more creative.
It also helps with memory. Participants in a study listening to classical music outperformed others that listened to nothing or just white noise. They were better at memorizing or had increased processing speed. Upbeat music can also help with processing speed and monotonous tasks, while slower, downbeat music is better for memory.
Though there are a few exceptions. If your working memory is on the lower side, listening to music can have the opposite effect, especially music with lyrics, though anyone should avoid music with complex lyrics. And if the music is too loud, it will be distracting. And if you are a musician, listen to neutral music, as otherwise you'll be distracted by the beauty and intricacies of the amazing music you are listening to. Listening to music can also help you to remember the past. For example, it's very helpful and beneficial for dementia patients. Now the part that made me curious to make this video and do a deep dive. How does music impact mood and sadness?
Music can reduce feelings of stress, anxiety and depression. However, the type of music is actually important. Classical music is shown to have most positive impact. And it's probably obvious, but the music you actually enjoy will help you out and evoke a positive state. As music can also be a double-edged sword and actually intensify and prolong your sadness, especially for teenagers with depression. So you'd want to listen to more positive music in major key when you're feeling overwhelmingly sad. But sad music can actually lift you up as well. There was this fascinating study, and there they identified 3 different reactions to sad music, relaxation, reflection, and feeling of belonging. On top of that, there are 3 different types of sadness: sublime sorrow, comforting sorrow, and grief-stricken sorrow. And we will feel different one depending on the intensity and the real reason for sadness. Also, musically trained people have a stronger emotional response in general.
There are a lot of observations in this study, so I'll link it in the description if you want to have a look. But here are a few more takeaways.
11% of people were more depressed after listening to sad music. Sad instrumental music is more likely to lead to beauty and a pleasurable experience, but music with profound lyrics can lead to either grief or comfort.
Taking into account previous studies as well, I would say if you're feeling overwhelmed or already depressed and it feels overwhelming, don't listen to sad music. Let's switch gears a bit. Let's talk about music therapy and how it can help you heal.
There are many different kinds, but there's one that fascinates me. They match the music to your heartbeat and your breathing. It was shown to be very effective. I'm not surprised, as biofeedback is amazing. Other techniques used in music therapies apart from listening includes singing along, playing an instrument, moving to a beat, some people call that dancing, and meditating with music. If any of them speak to you, they might be worth trying.
I would personally also suggest joining a group session like a drumming or a humming circle. The group atmosphere gives it an extra punch, and you don't have to know anything to actually join them. But if you do,
there are many small studies indicating that learning an instrument or doing any other musical training enhances cognition and often even leads to better health and life. However, many of these studies were conducted over a shorter period of time, so it's hard to say how impactful it is long term. Luckily, there was one big study done over decades which observed people's cognitive ability over the years, and they also asked them about their musical training. Turns out that if you had musical training, you get all the above mentioned benefits and they last a very long time. Sure, it's not a huge increase, but it's significant. And the more years and more hours of practice a person puts in, the bigger the benefit.
If you ever wanted to learn how to play an instrument, here's some extra motivation for that. It's never too late. I started to play my first instrument when I was 20. Music can have a huge impact on society too. For example, it can even lead to overthrowing of the government. But mass doping is not the subject of this video, so you'll have to leave it for another time. Enough of science. Let me show you how I use music and some additional benefits. Feel free to steal some of them and use them as an inspiration.
In the morning I try to work on these videos for 25 minutes, whether that's doing research or writing what I should say, and I usually have lots of resistance towards it. Therefore I need to fool my brain and help it get into the state of mind for doing this type of work, or any morning work.
So I always listen to the same music. This also helps with habit building. I was usually listening to music made by Brambles, and I was only listening to it in the morning when working.
The second song tends to get me into the flow after the brain warms up. It's what I'm listening to right now and what you hear in the background. Why this type of music? I like this music. It offers decent amount of complexity to eliminate brain chatter, but not too much to overwhelm the senses. And it's instrumental, therefore there are no words that take me away from writing.
Right now I'm also experimenting with Brain FM for working, and I'm trying it out in the morning too. But maybe I'll get back to Brambles for my morning writing sessions.
I also had one specific song that I used only for one type of self-love meditation that I was trying out. The principle was the same as with the morning work music. When working throughout the day, I was often listening to Discover Weekly on Spotify, which shows new, similar music to what I listened to before, with a couple songs I already know sprinkled in. This is a great combination to release bits of dopamine and keep me stimulated. Now I also use Brain FM's focus music and the built-in 25-minute Pomodoro timer. I use it as a trigger and outside structure for deep work. I love Pomodoro, though I never stuck to it for a long time on its own, so having that integrated in the same tool that I use to get deep work done is incredible. It also seems to be sustainable for me this way. And of course, as most people, if I'm in a loud environment and need to focus, I put on some headphones with music to drown everything else out. When I'm going out and I know that I will be pushing my comfort zone or being social when I don't feel like it, I put on a bouncy, upbeat music while I'm biking there like an insane person, all while bouncing to the beat.
It's ridiculous when you see it, but its combination releases amazing cocktail of chemicals that make me feel better.
I also have a playlist of songs with non-conformist lyrics that make me want to sing, and I use that if I still need some help when pushing my comfort zone. When I need to release some emotions or pent up energy, which I might not fully know where it's from, I listen to music that I love to sing to or rap along to. This helps me to connect more to what I'm feeling, or it at least moves the stuck energy.
Singing helps a lot actually. though I'm not a good singer, so I make sure nobody's around.
I actually also use this before recording these videos as a way for me to warm up my mouth muscles and vocal cords, so that hopefully I speak more clearly on the video. Another way to release some stuck energy is dancing or even bouncing to music. Even a tiny bit helps. And is also great for the body, as I tend to move my whole spine and body when dancing.
Music is also amazing to learn a new language. Before we learned that music can help with memory, but I would say to learn a new language, music has multiple other benefits.
In a sense, you are giving your brain the opportunity to observe patterns in the new language. Exposing yourself to them through music is helpful. I do find that it helps me with pronunciation as well. You can also learn some words and phrases from the songs, and then actually consciously learning the lyrics and singing along brings it all together. I often listen to music of a particular language even before I start to learn it.
I also have to mention learning or playing an instrument. It's a great way to keep your brain happy and build some new neural connections. It's also a great way to relax and calm down, especially on this instrument. An honorable mention goes to using music for some work as a reward. Alright, now I'm curious, how do you use music? And what music supplements will you try out now? Feel free to leave some feedback and see you in the next one.